This is Mark Triana reporting for the Chicago Music Guide, and I'm here at the Mayhemfest with Herman of Dragonforce. How are you doing?
All right, good. Not bad, not bad.
You've done just about 25 shows now at the Mayhemfest, and this is about the tail end of the tour. What are your thoughts on your experience and the bands that you've played with?
I think it's been a great tour. It's been a diverse tour,
Yeah.
which is I think is very important to bring diversity on and different kind of music to people, so they can choose what they like and maybe discover new music, which is a different style and stuff. It's been great, yeah.
You toured with bands like Iron Maiden and Halloween relatively early on in your music career. In what ways did that affect the music that you were making, and what kinds of things did you learn from those experiences?
I think it doesn't make any difference to what we do in music, what we're gonna make. They do their thing and we do our thing. You know, the tour is a tour. We have to go out and do our show as well. You know, we can't change our show based on what other bands we're playing with. You know, but I think what we learned is, back then is early career, so we're playing on the big stage, with Iron Maiden. So that was, you would definitely learn how to play on the big stage. It's experience, yeah.
Because Dragonforce was formed in London, England, and you've toured pretty extensively around Europe and abroad, you have a pretty unique perspective on performing for different audiences. How would you compare performing for an American audience as opposed to any other audience?
I guess one of the ones we can pick out, is I guess certain jokes that go down well in America and Australia or England will never, ever gonna work in Germany. It doesn't. It just, people are different, different cultures. What we find really funny, they will just go, what? So I think, that's definitely one thing for sure. Different culture react differently, but I think mostly are the same. I think jokes-wise, certain countries definitely don't understand. Yeah.
You're currently touring with quite a few artists from your record label, Roadrunner Records, and Slipknot and Machine Head. How much exposure do you usually have with other label mates outside of like festivals like this?
Well, since our styles is definitely very different from every other band on Roadrunner,
yeah,
it really doesn't make any difference. But but to be honest, end of the day, why preach to the converted?
Yeah.
You gotta play music to people that don't like it or never heard of it, and they can hate it later or they can like it.
Your MySpace page credits video games as an influence for your music. First of all, which video games have had the greatest effect on you, and how have they affected you?
We used to play a lot of video games, Sam and I for sure, and also Fred is easy into like old games. So when you play those games like late 80s, early 90s games, you play it so often that the music sticks in your head. So now it's just slowly popping up in the music songwriting and arrangement of our albums.
What do you think of like current video games, or do you have any time to play them these days?
I mean, I think that the video games these days are very different,
Yeah.
Because of production and, all this stuff. I mean, I also like the old games. I also like the new games. Music-wise, I prefer the old games than now. Now it's more atmospheric than the tune.
Yeah, especially like the evolution of like the Final Fantasy series.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of gone downhill in my opinion.
The last one I played was number 7. So I haven't played anything beyond 7 on the PlayStation 1 one. Actually, I played on the PC. But anyway.
I'm sure you've heard that Through the Fire and Flames is the most difficult Guitar Hero song ever made. How did developers of the game get in contact with you, and how has your appearance on the game affected your fan base?
They just contacted us because they said, look, there's been lots of requests from gamers to have the song of the Dragonforce song, and they were only going to do it if we were able to supply them the master track, so the real playing from us. So yeah, and that was it. We weren't thinking, wow, we're going to be big now, we're going to reach new audience, but it ended up being that way. So that's really cool.
And another one of your songs is on the download pack, right?
Yeah. So the hardest song should technically be "Heroes of Our Time" soon, which is the download pack, the song from the new album.
Very cool. Yeah. You're going to be releasing your 4th full-length album, Ultra Beatdown, later on this month. What else can we expect from Dragonforce in coming days?
Apart from the album, or from the album?
As far as touring goes and things like that, are you going back to Europe, or?
Yeah, we start touring for the new album in England, and then we're gonna break out, into all the way, go to Japan, go to Australia, and we'll see what happens. We keep looking at those US dates that could be popping up soon. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This has been Mark Triana reporting for the Chicago Music Guide at the Mayhemfest with Herman of Dragonforce.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks.